DiBernardo. He is from CNS. He is a junior here, and today he's presenting his project, Snewtoon, Connecting Innovation Tech to Kepler. 111455123.
Okay, hi guys. So this is Snewtoon. Introducing myself, so I just want to introduce myself for the not so familiar faces in the room. My name is Samuel DiBernardo. I am a student here at Innovation Tech. It's a picture of me, obviously. I've been here since September 2014, so this is my third year here. And throughout my time here, as both as a student and as a person, I've grown immensely, and in ways that I never thought I would. Now I'd like to introduce Innovation Tech for those of you who aren't too familiar with it either. Innovation Tech is our program, our high school, and our approach to learning usually begins with teaching that's engaging, which I completely agree with. This is straight from the website. So project-based learning, that's the rule. That's what we do here. We do project-based learning. So as I stated before, I started here in September 2014, and I didn't know how to talk in front of people like this, and now here I am. So I'd like to introduce PBL. PBL stands for Project-Based Learning. At Innovation Tech, the students work in teams, typically differing on what the project requires, and we work on authentic projects that help us develop critical thinking and communication skills. Master Snooze, so science in the news. This is our science class as well as our current events class. We typically focus our projects on scientific data that is news related. For instance, if there's a study recently published and it matches the criteria for what New York State says we have to learn, then we typically make a project, sometimes collectively as a class, and it's relating to that subject or study. Snewtoon, so this is the project. Snewtoon is a project I'm currently working on in Master Snooze. It's due soon, so I'm basically in the final stages. But in the beginning, we start with a driving question, typically. And our driving question for Snewtoon is, how do political cartoons provide an awareness of current issues? We like to keep in mind our driving question throughout the project because it's good to come back to if we need more direction. So we were given the assignment of making a Google slide about a scientific article, or perhaps many, depending on what you wanted to do. And then we were to create a political cartoon that sheds light onto that scientific subject of our choice. This is my project timeline, just to show you how things work here at Innovation Tech. So we started off on November 29th. Then we do our knows, needs to knows, and next steps. Knows are things that we know, needs to knows are things that we need to know, so questions we have about the project. And next steps are things that we do next in order to finish the project. We fill out a group contract. We each take certain roles in the project, and we fill it out, turn it in, make sure our facilitators are good with it, and then we may revisit the knows, needs to knows, and do next steps. After that, we have work time, content work time. So like I said, we were doing a Google slide presentation and a political cartoon. After that, we do a critical friends, which is a panel of our peers, and we kind of do like a practice presentation. After that, we may revisit the project briefcase if we need any clarification. So this is what my actual project is about. Kepler 1114523. Now I chose this because I've always had an interest in science, and I aspire to be an astrophysicist or perhaps even a quantum physicist after I graduate high school and complete college. A little information about Kepler. It is one of the hundreds of Kepler stars. This one is a blue giant star, if that's the phase it's in. It's pretty far from where we are here on Earth. It's approximately 5,000 light years away. The reason it's so interesting to me is because it's one of the roundest stars or objects really ever observed in the observable universe. So here you can see a picture. That is our sun and Kepler 1114512. Now this is my political cartoon. I titled it Happily Oblivious to Science. Zoom in a little bit so you can see the actual wording. So one scholar, he's saying to another, saying, well, according to the law of centrifugal force, which for those of you who don't know what that is, if you've ever been to the New York State Fair, there's this ride called the Roundup, or even the Alien Spaceship ride. And it's the law that keeps it from when it goes vertical and you're spinning around, you don't fall to the middle. And so that affects everything in our universe, especially stars. And so he's saying, well, Kepler 1114512 should be flatter then, according to this law. And the other guy says, well, it shouldn't be so round. And the other guy claims, well, science isn't real then. And the idea came from actually one of Donald Trump's campaigns, I guess, or people talking about his campaigns. The whole not believing in climate change thing. So I think there's definitely, hey, I got so distracted. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
Okay. The reason it relates to this is because a lot of people believe that science is something that's set in stone, that it's not something that can contradict itself, that it isn't constantly changing. But in fact, we're learning more and more every single day, and that changes everything that we know, and we think we know. So what is the point of my political cartoon? Well, my political cartoon had to include 4 out of the 5 persuasive techniques we learned. The 4 that I chose were irony, exaggeration, analogy, and labeling. And just for those of you who don't know what political cartoons are, also known as editorial cartoons, they're defined as illustrations or comic strips containing a political or social message, and it usually relates to current events or personalities. If you've ever seen a political cartoon of Obama, he's got like really big ears. That's an example of exaggeration. It kind of helps to get the point across using persuasive techniques. This is my works cited page. These are just 3 articles, 3 of the many that I read about the Kepler star. And how has innovation tech helped me grow as a student? Well, since I've learned here, since I have started here at Innovation Tech, I've learned how to speak publicly. I've learned how to accept myself. I've almost always felt accepted here. And I've learned how to talk to professionals. I've become such a great problem solver and leader, I think. So that's how Innovation Tech helped change me as a person, helped me grow. And thank you for your time.